Victoria's hands
Please,
trembled
don't leave.
as she
You're the only
stood
one
in
who
the
can help me.
penthouse,
I'm just a delivery
the
driver. I need to
delivery
call an
bag
ambulance.
slipping from her fingers. The man on the bed, Kang Tae-jun, Seoul's most untouchable business mogul, wasn't breathing right. His skin burned like fire under her touch, his pupils dilated to dangerous extremes. "Please," he gasped, grabbing her wrist with terrifying strength. "Don't leave. You're the only one who can help me." She tried to pull away, but his grip tightened. "I'm just a delivery driver. I need to call an ambulance." "No hospitals," he growled through clenched teeth. "They'll kill me before dawn." Victoria's heart hammered against her ribs. This wasn't a regular customer. This was the man whose face appeared on business magazines, whose name made people whisper in fear. And right now, he was dying in front of her. Before we continue, subscribe if stories like this matter to you, and let me know where you're watching from. They said this channel wouldn't survive. Maybe we can prove them wrong together. Tae-jun collapsed back onto the bed, his breathing shallow. Victoria's nursing training from her 2 semesters at university kicked in. Barely. She recognized the symptoms, rohypnol mixed with something worse, something designed to stop his heart.
Who did this to you?
She demanded, already checking his pulse. "Business rivals," he whispered. "The Yakuza. They spiked my drink during negotiations." His eyes locked onto hers with desperate intensity. "There's an antidote. In the safe. Code is 08-15-94. She ran to the wall safe, fingers shaking as she entered the numbers. Inside, she found vials of clear liquid, syringes, and, her stomach dropped, stacks of cash bound with red bands and a handgun. What kind of businessman keeps medical-grade antidotes and weapons in his bedroom safe?
Inject me now.
"Inject me," Tae-jun commanded weakly. "Now." Victoria hesitated for only a second before grabbing the antidote. She'd seen enough medical dramas to know the basics. As the needle pierced his skin, he exhaled sharply, his body convulsing once before gradually relaxing. His breathing stabilized. Color returned to his cheeks. But then his hand shot out, pulling her down onto the bed beside
You
him.
saved my
"You
life.
saved my life," he murmured, his voice suddenly clearer, more dangerous. That means
you're mine now."
"Excuse me?"
Excuse me?
You breathed in the
Victoria tried to
residue. The
stand,
drug
but
transfers through air
exhaustion and
particles since you're
adrenaline
affected
had
too.
drained her
You knew this would
completely.
happen.
The room spun. "You breathed in the residue," Tae-jun said, his fingers brushing her cheek with unexpected tenderness. "The drug transfers through air particles in enclosed spaces. You're affected too." She felt it then, the warmth spreading through her veins, the way her thoughts became fuzzy at the edges. "You knew this would happen," she accused, but her voice came out breathless instead of angry. "I needed you to stay," he admitted, pulling her closer. "I couldn't let you leave, not yet." What happened next blurred into fragments, his lips on hers, the expensive silk sheets tangled around them, his whispered promises that tomorrow would make sense. Victoria's last coherent thought, before surrendering completely, was that she'd crossed a line she could never uncross. She woke alone in the massive bed, sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Han River. Her delivery uniform lay folded neatly on a chair beside a white shopping bag with a designer label she recognized from billboards. Inside, a dress worth more than 6 months of her rent, shoes, and a handwritten note in sharp, elegant Korean script. "Wear this. Join me for breakfast. We need to talk. KTJ." Victoria's phone buzzed. 17 missed calls from her roommate, 12 from her boss at the delivery company, and one new message from an unknown number. "Delete all evidence of last night. Tell no one where you were. This is for your protection." Her hands shook as she dressed. The fabric felt like liquid against her skin. The shoes fit perfectly. How did he know her size? How long had he been watching her? The dining room was something from a drama, Marble floors, a table that could seat 20, and Tae-jun at the head wearing a tailored black suit that probably cost more than her family's house in Lagos. He looked completely recovered, as if last night's brush with death had been imaginary. "Sit," he said, gesturing to the chair beside him. Not across from him. Beside him. Victoria obeyed, her mind racing. What happened last night was necessary, he interrupted, pouring her tea with practiced precision. And it changes everything. Changes what? I helped you. Now I'm leaving. His laugh was cold. No, Victoria Adeyemi, you're not. Her blood froze. How do you know my full name? Tae-jun slid a folder across the table. Inside were photographs, her apartment building, her university, her mother's hair salon in Itaewon, her younger brother at his high school. Every detail of her life laid bare. "You've been delivering to my properties for 3 months," he said calmly. "Did you think I wouldn't notice the Afro-Korean girl who always arrives exactly on time, who never asks questions, who has a nursing certificate she never uses?" Victoria's stomach twisted. "You've been stalking me." "I've been protecting you," he corrected. "The Yakuza weren't just targeting me last night. They were targeting you." "That's insane. I'm nobody." "Your father," Tae-jun said slowly, watching her reaction, "was David Adeyemi, Nigerian diplomat. He died in a car accident in Seoul 15 years ago. What your mother never told you is that he wasn't just a diplomat. He was an intelligence asset who uncovered a massive money laundering operation." The room tilted. Victoria gripped the table edge. "My father died because of a drunk driver. Your father died because he discovered that 3 Korean chaebols were funneling money through African trade routes for the Yakuza," Tae-jun said. "And I'm the one who's been keeping those chaebols from finishing what they started with your family." Before she could process this, the dining room doors burst open. 3 men in dark suits entered, their movements coordinated and threatening. The one in front, older, with a scar bisecting his left eyebrow, smiled coldly at Victoria. "Kang Tae-jun," he said in Korean. "Sleeping with witnesses now? Your grandfather would be ashamed." Tae-jun stood slowly, his entire demeanor shifting. The gentle businessman vanished, replaced by something lethal. "Get out of my house, Nakamura." "Your house?" Nakamura laughed. "This house belongs to the Kang family, and the Kang family answers to the council. You broke protocol by involving a civilian in syndicate business." Syndicate. The word hung in the air like poison. Victoria stood, her chair scraping against marble. "What is he talking about?" Tae-jun didn't look at her. His eyes stayed locked on Nakamura. "Leave. Now." "Oh, she doesn't know?" Nakamura's smile widened. "Should I tell her, or will you?" The tension snapped. Tae-jun moved faster than Victoria could track, his fist connecting with Nakamura's jaw with a crack that echoed through the room. The other 2 men lunged forward, but Tae-jun was ready, blocking, striking, moving with the fluid precision of someone trained to kill. Victoria stumbled backward, her mind screaming. This wasn't a businessman defending his home. This was a fighter, a trained operative. "Ah, Mafia," she whispered. Nakamura, bleeding from his mouth, laughed even as Tae-jun pinned him against the wall. "She's figuring it out." "Smart girl. Kang Tae-jun isn't just some tech CEO. He's the youngest underboss in the Hwashong clan. His family controls half of Seoul's underground. And you, little delivery girl, just became his greatest liability." Tae-jun's hand tightened around Nakamura's throat. "Say another word and I'll end you here." "Go ahead," Nakamura choked out. "Kill me in front of your new pet. Let her see what you really are." Victoria ran. She didn't make it far. The penthouse elevator required a key card she didn't have. The stairs were locked, every exit sealed. She was trapped 40 floors above the city in a golden cage. Taijun found her in the hallway, breathing hard, mascara running. "Victoria, don't," she snapped. "Don't say my name, don't come near me." He stopped 3 feet away, hands raised. "Everything Nakamura said is true. I am underboss of the Hwaseong clan. I've been since I was 23. But the part about you being a liability, that's a lie. Then what am I?" His expression cracked, revealing something raw underneath. "You're the one thing in my life that wasn't chosen for me. Last night, when you saved me, you had every reason to run, to let me die. But you stayed. Do you understand how rare that is in my world?" "I stayed because you were dying," Victoria said. "Not because I wanted to join your criminal empire." "I never asked you to join anything," Taejun said quietly. "But the moment you walked into that bedroom, you became part of this, whether you wanted to or not. The Yakuza know your face now. They know you touched their poison and survived. They'll come for you to tie up loose ends." Victoria's legs gave out. She slid down the wall, hugging her knees. "This can't be real." Taijun knelt beside her, careful not to touch. "I can protect you. My family can protect you, but you have to trust me." "Trust you?" She laughed bitterly. "You drugged me. You manipulated me. You've been watching me for months." "Yes," he admitted, "all of that is true, but I also kept you alive when 3 different organizations wanted to use you as leverage against your father's legacy. I also made sure your mother's salon never faced protection fees from local gangs. I also ensured your brother got into his first choice high school, despite the scholarship falling through." Victoria's head snapped up. "That was you?" "Everything good that's happened to your family in the last year," Taejun said, "I made possible. Not because I expected anything in return, because I loved watching you from a distance and knowing you were safe." The confession hung between them, raw and terrifying. "That's not love," Victoria whispered. "That's obsession." "In my world," Taejun said, "they're the same thing." Subscribe right now if you want to see how this impossible situation gets even more complicated, and don't forget to like and comment. It helps more than you know. Subscribing is completely free. 3 weeks passed. 3 weeks of living in Taejun's penthouse, guarded by men in expensive suits, eating food prepared by private chefs. Victoria's mother thought she'd gotten a live-in position with a wealthy family. Her brother thought she was studying abroad. The lies piled up like bodies. And every night Taejun came to her door, never entering, always asking the same question: "Are you ready to talk?" Every night she said no, until the night she started vomiting and couldn't stop. The doctor Taejun summoned was discreet, professional, and delivered the news with clinical detachment. "Congratulations! You're 6 weeks pregnant." Victoria's world imploded. She sat in the bathroom long after the doctor left, staring at the positive test, her mind blank. 6 weeks. That meant the night she saved him, the night the drugs had made everything hazy and desperate, the night she'd convinced herself was just a fever dream. Taejun found her there at dawn, still holding the test. He said nothing, just sank down beside her on the cold tile floor and waited. "This changes everything," Victoria finally said. "Yes," he agreed. "Your family, they won't accept this. An Afro-Korean delivery girl pregnant with the underboss's child." "My family," Taejun said carefully, "will accept what I tell them to accept. And if they don't?" His silence was answer enough. Victoria stood, smoothing down her borrowed clothes. "I want to see my mother." "That's not safe." "I don't care," she said fiercely. "I'm not telling her over the phone that she's going to be a grandmother. Either you take me to her, or I find my own way." Taejun studied her for a long moment, then nodded. 1 hour. My men will secure the area first. Her mother's salon in Itaewon was exactly as Victoria remembered. Bright, loud, smelling of hair products, and her mother's signature coconut oil. Amara Adeyemi looked up from braiding a client's hair and froze. Victoria, baby, what are you doing here? I thought you were... She stopped, her eyes moving past Victoria to Taijun standing in the doorway. Her expression shifted from confusion to recognition, to pure horror. No, Amara breathed. No, 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 not him. Anyone but him. Victoria's stomach dropped. Mom, what? That's Kang Tae-jun, Amara said, her voice shaking. That's the grandson of the man who killed your father. The world stopped. Tae-jun didn't deny it. He stood perfectly still, his face carved from stone. Victoria turned to him slowly. Is that true? My grandfather, Tae-jun said quietly, ordered the hit on David Adeyemi 15 years ago. Yes. And you knew, Victoria said, her voice breaking. You knew the whole time. I was 8 years old when your father died, Tae-jun said. I found out what my grandfather did when I was 16. By then, the damage was done. I couldn't bring your father back, but I could make sure your family was protected from any further attempts. Protected? Amara laughed harshly, switching to rapid Yoruba. You think watching us like prey is protection? You think manipulating my daughter into your bed is protection? Victoria's hands instinctively went to her stomach. Her mother noticed. Her mother always noticed. Amara's eyes widened. No. Victoria, please tell me. I'm pregnant, Victoria whispered. The silence that followed was devastating. Amara sank into her styling chair, her face in her hands. You brought the devil into our family. I didn't know, Victoria said desperately. I didn't know who he was. But he knew who you were, Amara said, looking up with tears streaming down her face. He's always known. This was his plan from the beginning. Get close to David's daughter. Impregnate her. Bind our family to the people who murdered my husband. That's not, Tae-jun started. Get out, Amara said coldly. Get out of my salon. Get away from my daughter. Tae-jun didn't move. Mrs. Adeyemi, I understand your anger. You understand nothing, Amara snapped, standing. She was a full foot shorter than Tae-jun, but radiated fury. My husband died investigating your family's crimes, and now you've trapped his daughter the same way he was trapped, with lies, with manipulation, with poison. The baby is innocent, Tae-jun said. The baby, Amara said slowly, is a Kang, and Kangs destroy everything they touch. Victoria watched this exchange, feeling like she was drowning. Everything made horrible sense now, why Tae-jun had focused on her specifically, why he'd been so insistent about protection, why he'd kept her isolated in his penthouse. This wasn't love. This was blood debt, revenge. A twisted way to erase his family's guilt by claiming David Adeyemi's daughter as his own. Take me back, Victoria said numbly. Victoria, her mother started. I need to think, Victoria interrupted. I need to figure out what to do. Just give me time, Mom. Amara grabbed her daughter's hands. Don't let him keep you. Run if you have to. I'll help you disappear. But Victoria shook her head. I'm carrying his child. Running won't work. You know how powerful the Kang family is. The ride back to the penthouse was silent. Tae-jun didn't try to explain or defend himself. He just drove while Victoria stared out the window, watching Seoul blur past, wondering how her simple life had become this nightmare. The confrontation came at midnight. Victoria woke to shouting, Korean and Japanese mixing in angry bursts. She crept out of her bedroom to find the penthouse filled with men in suits. And at the center, facing Tae-jun, stood an elderly Korean man whose presence made everyone else seem diminished. Kang Dae-jung, Tae-jun's grandfather. the man who'd ordered her father's death. "You dishonor this family," Dae-jung said in Korean, his voice like gravel. "Impregnating a Nigerian woman, the daughter of our enemy?" "She's Afro-Korean," Tae-jun corrected coldly, "and she's carrying your great-grandchild." "A mongrel child," one of the other men spat. Tae-jun moved so fast Victoria barely saw it. One moment the man was standing, the next he was on the floor, Tae-jun's foot on his throat. "Say that again," Tae-jun said softly. "Please," Dae-jung laughed. "Such passion. But passion doesn't erase the problem. The council has decided. You will terminate the pregnancy and end your association with the Adeyemi girl. This is not negotiable." Victoria stepped into the light, her hand protectively over her stomach. "I have a name." Every eye turned to her. She'd never felt so exposed, so vulnerable. But she refused to cower. Dae-jung studied her with cold assessment. "Victoria Adeyemi, you look like your father. He was stubborn too. It got him killed." "You killed him," Victoria said, her voice steady despite her terror. "I eliminated a threat to my family's operations," Dae-jung corrected. "Business. Nothing personal." "My father was personal," Victoria said. "My family is personal. This baby is personal." "This baby," Dae-jung said, "is leverage, and I don't leave loose ends." Tae-jun stepped between them, his body a shield. "You'll have to go through me first." "I'm prepared to do that," Dae-jung said calmly. He gestured to the men surrounding them, at least 10, all armed. "You're good, Tae-jun, the best fighter I've trained. But you can't beat 10 men protecting one pregnant girl." "Watch me," Tae-jun said. What happened next was chaos. Tae-jun fought like a demon, brutal, efficient, devastating. But there were too many. Victoria screamed as one man grabbed her, dragging her toward the elevator. She kicked, clawed, bit. Then gunfire erupted. Everyone froze. The man holding Victoria released her. She stumbled forward and Tae-jun caught her, both of them breathing hard. In the doorway stood Victoria's mother, holding her father's old service pistol, the one she'd kept hidden for 15 years. Behind her, 6 Nigerian men in tactical gear, her father's old colleagues who'd never forgotten their friend's murder. "This ends now," Amara said in English, her voice like steel. "Kang Dae-jung, you took my husband. You will not take my daughter or my grandchild." Dae-jung smiled, seemingly unconcerned by the guns pointed at him. "And if I refuse?" "Then we expose everything," Amara said. She held up her phone and on it played a video. Dae-jung at the scene of David Adeyemi's accident, clearly visible, giving orders. "My husband wore a wire that day. I've had this evidence for 15 years. I've been waiting for the right moment to use it." The room went silent. "If anything happens to my family," Amara continued, "this video goes to every news outlet in Korea and Nigeria. Your empire crumbles. Your family name becomes synonymous with murder and corruption. Everything you've built, gone." Dae-jung's expression finally cracked. "You've been waiting all this time?" "A mother's vengeance," Amara said, "is patient." Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment right now. This story isn't over and you won't want to miss what happens next. Let's get this channel to where it deserves to be. The standoff lasted 7 minutes. 7 minutes of guns pointed, threats made, calculations running behind everyone's eyes. Finally, Dae-jung lowered his hand. "Stand down," he ordered his men. They hesitated, then obeyed. Dae-jung looked at Tae-jun. "You choose this girl and this child over your family?" "I choose them," Tae-jun said without hesitation. "Then you're no grandson of mine," Dae-jung said. "You're stripped of your title, exiled from the clan. Everything you've built here, finished." Tae-jun nodded slowly. "I accept those terms. But," Dae-jung continued, his eyes moving to Victoria. The child will still carry Kang blood. If you raise it in my city, it will eventually be drawn into this world. You cannot escape that fate. Then we'll leave Seoul, Tae-jun said. Victoria looked at him sharply. They'd never discussed this. Where would you go? Dae-jung asked, genuinely curious. Tae-jun glanced at Victoria, then at Amara. Lagos, Nigeria, where her father's family can help protect them. Amara lowered her gun slightly. You'd leave everything? For them? Tae-jun looked at Victoria, and for the first time she saw absolute certainty in his eyes. Yes. 3 months later, Victoria stood on the balcony of a modest apartment in Lagos, her hand on her growing belly, watching the sunset paint the sky orange and gold. Behind her, she heard Tae-jun talking to her uncle, her father's brother. In broken Yoruba, he was desperately trying to learn. Her mother had stayed in Seoul to maintain appearances, but she visited every month. The Nigerian security team her father had worked with kept watch, discreet but constant. And Tae-jun, he'd adapted to civilian life with surprising grace. No more suits, no more empire. Just a man learning to be a father, trying to atone for his family's sins. Victoria still didn't know if she loved him. Some days she thought she might be falling. Other days, the weight of everything, the deception, the danger, the blood between their families, felt too heavy. But she knew 3 things for certain. He'd given up everything for her and their child. He woke up every morning and chose her again. And when their daughter was born 2 months ago, a beautiful Afro-Korean baby with her father's eyes and her mother's spirit, he'd held her and wept. They'd named her Kemi, pamper me, in Yoruba, because this child, born from tragedy and twisted fate, would be pampered, protected, loved beyond measure. The prophecy Dae-jung had made was probably true. Eventually, the Kang blood would call to Kemi. Eventually, they'd have to face Seoul again. But for now, in this Lagos sunset with her unlikely family around her, Victoria let herself hope. Victoria, Tae-jun called from inside. Your mother's on video call. She wants to see Kemi. Victoria smiled, heading back inside. Behind her, the sun set on one life. Ahead, in the warm glow of her apartment, a new life was just beginning. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and comment to support the channel. And let me know where you are watching this from in the comments below.